Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? This is Scatterbrain, the Ray Bradford podcast, brought to you by none other than Ray Bradford. Back for another episode. Man, I hope y'all been doing good, man. Today is Father's Day. Today is House of the Dragons Day. Just a big monumental day that we recording this episode on. Man, I hope everybody feeling good. I hope you had a great week. Hope you had a great Father's Day. I want to give a shout out to all my homies. I may miss some names, and if I miss some names, man, charge it to my head and not my heart. But just some guys that I know that's great fathers, that's real out here, the righteous way doing it, man. They really taking care of their kids, even if they're not with the mother. But I want to give a shout out to my guys. Like, these my brothers. The first few guys I'm finna name, these like 20 plus year friendship, maybe longer than 20. Shout out to Maurice Singleton, man. Shout out to Johnny Skinner. Shout out to Arbor Shelton, man. Shout out to my brother Alvin Loggins. Shout out to Pooh Man. All my brothers, man, that I grew up with, man. Even if we don't even talk on a regular basis no more, but shout out to all y'all. Shout out to my musician brothers. Shout out to musician brother who turned in the family as well. Shout out to Willie Taylor. Shout out to Josh Reynolds, Jeff Reynolds. Who else, man? Ooh, shit, charge it to my head and not my heart. I should have wrote this down before I started. But who else? Shout out to Johnny Hosey. Shout out to Kelvin McMorris. Shout out to Tip Wilson, Brandon Tip Wilson. Man, shout out to just everybody I know that's a good father and in their child's life, man, on a regular basis, man. Shout out to the uncles that play the role, man, like myself. My daughter I said my daughter. My niece, who is like my daughter, she has a father. He's in her life, in and out, kind of. On some sick shit, kind of. Not on sick like he does anything with her, but he kind of let distance play the role of why he is involved and ain't involved. And if he see this, bro, I ain't trying to dish it, bro. I'm just laying the story out. Shout out to you, because I know your other kids, you're a great father to them. But shout out to all the uncles who step in and play the role, man. We play a major part of a child's life. Shout out to Rob Smith, man, my brother, Rob Smith, man. If you play a part in a child's life and you ain't even their actual father, but if you play a part in that child's life, shout out to you, man, for being impactful in a big and major way in helping raise these kids, because they need it. They need it bad. They need it bad, man. We just seen a unfortunate and tragic story here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, of a local star athlete who ended up going to USM and was becoming a star at USM. If not, was a star already at USM. Lost his life to 18-year-old, 16-year-old, and a 17-year-old who wanted to rob him for a car. It's tragic. I don't know what we need to do to reach the kids. I did it. It's crazy, man. It's like when you do podcasts or you just talk, or you do stuff like this, man. A goal of mine is to eventually end up on the radio. That's where I see myself doing that. So now I'm trying to like prepare and like look up and research that. But anyway, when you do stuff like that, podcasts, interviews, radios, you do stuff that's recorded regularly, you get to look back at stuff that you recorded, and you can cringe over something you said, or you can see something and say, man, I was ahead of the curve when I said this, but I said a long time ago, we losing the children, man. We losing the children. And it wasn't even on murder stuff. It was just off of some stuff I seen at a football game, and I was just amazed at, like, man, how are we letting kids do this stuff nowadays? But man, yeah, we lost a family, lost their loved one, man, a star athlete, man, to other children, you know. I say this all the time to the young guys that look up to me, even though I don't feel like I'm anybody to look up to. But I say this to the guys that look up to me. Like, man, you can be 23 and you're still a kid, especially males. Especially males. Like, I don't feel like I was an actual adult until I was like 26, 27. But, yeah, you know, you just look at that and you just be like, man, they 18, the 18-year-old thought he was grown in that situation. And like, you wasn't grown, your brain wasn't fully developed, you didn't know life. You threw your life away over some dumb stuff. We need to reach the children. So anybody that's playing a role in a child's life, even shout out to the mothers that's having to play both roles. If you having to play mother and father, you having to do both. Shout out to you as well. You know, it's a tough situation, man. Tough situation. But anybody who having to do both, keep doing it, man. Keep showing these kids a righteous way of living. And righteous don't always mean you should be spiritual in your righteous way of living, but you don't have to be like a pastor or a prophet or any of that. You just have to be righteous about the way you treat people, the way you approach life, the way you approach other humans. You always trying to get better. And what I mean by always trying to get better in your craft, in your personal life, and developing your character. You know, you reading books or you listening to videos about how to develop your character, how to develop businesses if you're an entrepreneur, or you listening to stuff on how to, if you're 9-to-5 worker, you listening to stuff on how to better yourself in your 9-to-5. You know, and just living righteous, man. We need to keep doing that with these kids, man. We need to tell them you can, no matter where you come from, poor, rich, middle class, wealthy, 1%er, whatever, you can achieve your dreams if you really dedicate your life to it. So uncles, fathers, adopted parents, whatever, man, whatever you are, and you are impactful and insightful in a kid's life and you helping lead them on a righteous path, salute to you. Happy Father's Day. Yeah. Today is the day for House of the Dragon. I'm trying to make this episode quick. Trying to make this episode quick so I can go watch House of the Dragon. I know, unfortunately, I know. And then, you know, it's so funny with this podcast stuff. It's like some stuff that I promote, it actually don't do well, and some stuff I don't promote, it do well, and then like it's wild. So I don't know. I may promote this episode, but with it being that it's gonna be so short, it's probably gonna be 30 minutes long, 45 minutes long, I may not promote it. I don't even want to consider this actual episode. Yeah, so this is what I want to run by everybody today. Now, before we even get into that, man, let's set a vibe. So I told y'all last week I want to start. I want to play some music. Again, promo time before I play the video, inspiring video. I want to play some music for promo time. Guess who this music is by? Me. Woo! So my problems out the way. If it feel right, we gonna dance this party away. Sing, Liv. Yes, promo time. Yeah. Promo time. So while the song is still playing, promo time. July 19th, Friday, July 19th, here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi at Fat Cat, 309, I got the address right this week, 309 McLeod Street. formerly known as the Thirsty Hippo, Ray Bradford, and a sip of funk, which is a new iteration of Ray Bradford. Boom. They got that out the way. We are hosting a show at Thirsty Hippo, $15 at the door, no advance tickets, none of that. Don't, people do that to feel special. We not doing that. $15 at the door. Bring your dancing shoes. This is funk music. It's probably gonna be a lot of music that you have not heard before. Probably gonna be a lot of music that you have not heard before. It's 4 covers, and if you're a funk music fan, you probably know these songs. If you aren't a funk music lover, it's a chance that you probably haven't heard, but hopefully you have. 2 of them by one of the biggest artists that ever lived. But other than that, it's 6 songs of original music plus 4 covers. We want to dance. We want to leave our problems at home. We want to leave our phone in our pocket. I don't mind if you do come and record some videos. But other than that, just leave your phone in your pocket. Let's have a good time. Let's enjoy each other in the room. Let's dance. Let's find a dancing partner, 2-step. Do a Soul Train line. If you want to do some extra stuff, you want to twerk to funk music, you want to throw your ass, I'm with that too. Whatever it is, do it. But that's what this show is about. Ray Bradford and the Sipper Funk. We got Fabo the Entertainer opening up. He's gonna tell some great jokes. He's a great comedian. If you've never heard of him, go back, watch his episode with on Scatterbrain, the Ray Bradford podcast. You can catch some of his comedy. Yeah, man, that's July 19th. Friday, July 19th at Fat Cat, 309 McLeod Street. McLeod is spelled McLeod Street, behind the library and the Firestone. First left after that, if you're going downtown. Come down there. Doors open at 8 o'clock. Show probably start around 8:30, 9-ish. We want to set a vibe before anything starts, so that good music will be playing, funk music, hip-hop, great hip-hop music, great pop music, just be great stuff going on. Don't dress to impress, dress to have fun. Man, I don't need you coming up with your heels on and your blase. That's beautiful. I like to look at that, women. I like to look at that like, ooh, she got some nice legs. She got nice feet. She got blah, blah, blah. Ooh, them heels make her ass right. I like to look at all that thing. I like to look at all that. But I want you to come in and have fun. Look, man, this show is to have fun. We there to dance. I don't think it's a song that's being played that you can't dance to. Well, I take that back. It may be like 1 or 2. Maybe like 1 or 2, but most of the songs you can dance to, they all high energy. They all about having fun. They all about living life in the moment. Yeah, man. Again, that's Friday, July 15th at Fat Cat, formerly known as the Thirsty Hippo, 309 McLeod Street, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, 39401. Doors open at 8 o'clock. Show starts around 8:30, 9-ish. What else? $15, no advance tickets. Get your tickets at the door. This ain't, I don't want it to feel like a huge concert. I'm actually kind of against all that. But if the demand ever gets to where I need to sell advance tickets, I will sell advance tickets. But right now the demand isn't that high. But yeah, man, $15 at the door. Bring your dancing shoes. We funking all night. The funk is back. The funk is back. So that was promo time. Let me set the mood, man. Let me find it. Oh, man. So I've been doing some financial stuff. Well, I've been watching financial stuff, but this was a great video. Oh, I'm gonna have to start it over.
From 4 different companies.
Do you come from money?
No.
How did you get the...
Ball handling routine.
Have you ever been broke before?
Yes.
And what do you do for a living out here in Miami, Florida?
I'm sorry, say again?
What do you do for a living out here in Miami, Florida?
Entrepreneur, 2 different companies now, reduced from 4 different companies.
Do you come from money?
No.
How did you get the money to start your businesses? Did you go into debt? Did you have to borrow any money?
The worst thing you can do and the best thing you can do. Cash advance on credit cards. My God, yes. Debt. Probably 22% interest.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's balls to the walls.
What is the secret to sales, though? A lot of people, they struggle to bring in that extra revenue. What's the secret to selling?
Close. Don't waste time with anything else. Just close.
So maybe people are good at getting prospective clients, people potentially in the
These
door.
guys that are great at introduction, they're great at product knowledge, but the guys that are closing.
What's the secret to closing?
The right question. Once you hear 3 yeses to 3 questions, close it. There's no need to go to 4.
Does
Does this sound like what you're looking for?
Yes, sir.
Do you see yourself using this product now?
Yes.
Would you like to start it today?
Yeah.
Close it.
Close.
You're
Yeah.
done.
I love that.
Don't quit.
How old are you now?
62.
What's the best advice that you would give to your younger self?
Don't change a thing. I wouldn't change it. My only regret, I can't do it again.
But if you lost everything tomorrow, could you make it all back?
It's a good question. I don't know. It's tomorrow. Nobody knows. Live from the moment.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. I really appreciate it. You got amazing advice. Thank you, sir.
Live for the moment. Live for the moment, man. Woo! But yeah, that's my inspirational video for this week, man. It's crazy. The one I played last week, it got freaking copyright struck, man. I was like, it's an Instagram video. How you copyright the Instagram video? But I don't know. I not know nothing. That that's gonna be the title of this episode. I not know nothing. Let me look back. Okay, I'm good. Ooh, that video was loud. I'm gonna have to cut that down. If you're looking at the screen, yeah, this week, I got it on that how I'm recording it, man. I would love to, chop it up with. Hey, before I go into that, any other podcasters out there, I love to chop it up with you about processes, how you do stuff, how you set up stuff. Love to chop it up with you, man. That's a side note. About community building, stuff like that, because I have an idea that I'm trying to pull off because I want to make it feel like Hattiesburg feel like how it felt when I first came here. It was a community musicians. Even if they didn't all mix, but it was a community, and you knew, you kind of knew everybody knew it of everybody at least, kind of cross paths and circles. So I just got this vision that I want to pull off, man. So I love to talk to anybody about community building, man, about how to better do it. Because I'm just not good at it. I guess because I'm not like an approachable person, I guess. And I guess I'm not the friendliest person. But that's weird because if you talk to me, I'm such a friendly guy. So I don't know. But, they said on the episode a few episodes ago with Jeff and Chris, they said I'm not the most approachable person. I don't know. I had somebody else tell me the same thing, so I don't get it. But I guess I need to smile more or something. I don't know. And I'm super tall, big. So if you don't smile and you're super tall and you're super big and you kind of have a serious face on, I can see why you wouldn't be approachable. And I don't like. And sometimes I go how I've been now, just letting my hair grow, letting my facial hair grow crazy, so I look like a wild dude. So I can get it. Anyway, but yeah, I just want to build community, especially music community, podcast community. I just want to kind of build it, man, because it's something that's needed. Because the only way we all get to the next level is if we all share information, man. Man, like, dude, if are we selfish and we just want one person to move, or do we want everybody that's in the field to move? Because if we make the whole field move, that raises the floor, and that makes the prices, that makes everything grow. And then, or in order, 1 or 2 people grow, and the rest stay down here. So now you got this big gap and this big divide to where You got these people up here who are worth an absorbently amount of money than these people down here who will do it for little or nothing. And we have to raise the floor. That's my whole thing. But yeah, I just got one serious thing that I want to talk about this week. I guess it's a get it off my chest segment. And a lot of what I'm gonna say applies to me too. It applies to me too because I consider myself a local artist right now. Are there people who know me for music outside of Hattiesburg or Mississippi? Yes, but where am I predominantly at and known in places? Mississippi. So I would consider myself local. Before I move on, it's shout out to my brother Marcus Singleton for Happy Father's Day too. I don't want to leave you out, bro. Had to chop that up and put it in my little segment that I put on the internet. I don't even know. I doubt I put it on the internet, but I just want to make sure I said everybody's name. But yeah, this is my get it off the chest moment. And what I said I was going to title this episode, I not know nothing. I not know nothing. I know a little about a lot, but I not know nothing. So, local artists. Let's start doing stuff in a spirit of excellency. I don't even want to say that because excellency is hard to shoot for. Perfection is hard to shoot for. But let's start doing stuff in a spirit of shooting to do stuff at a spirit of a high level. Let's stop settling. Like, man, I just want this, man. So I'll give an example. It's funny, I'm kind of nervous to give this example because I think they may know who I'm talking about when I say this. And I don't want them to feel offended. That's the catch. I don't want them to feel offended. But so I had Willie, we all know, Smashing Company, the place where I'm at. Willie is the head guy over here. And everybody else is like, we pitch in and we help. But Willie he went and ran sound for a thing. He recorded it. He was mixing it for them to put on. I guess they're going to put it on social media, wherever they're going to put it on. But when he was mixing it, I happened to stop by the space while Willie was mixing it. He was in his initial stages of mixing it. And I was on the phone call in the front. And while I was on the phone call, I could hear what he was doing. And I was like, man, if you know Willie is really freaking good at whatever he does. I met Willie playing guitar, but when I met him playing guitar, he was cold at guitar, but he wasn't a music major like I was a music major when I first got here. But this Negro wasn't a music major. He was a physical trainer major, whatever that major is. I don't know. I forget the name of it, but I know he was certified at one time. Once he graduated USM, but he came to USM, walked on USM to be a football player. He's a gifted athlete, man. Can play any sport. Willie got to be 5'8", 5'9", but can dunk. When I met him, he was super ripped up. Like he's cold at whatever he does. He went from all of that. So I named what he did there early on to becoming audio engineer, live audio engineer. Then he's a producer. We have a whole album from the name of this place is Smashing Company, where the band we were initially in was called Smash. We have a whole album sitting on one of Willie's hard drive that he basically produced and mixed and everything. He's a mixing engineer. He's a mastering engineer. Willie does camera work. He does videography. He does still images. He does if you need actual video work done and video editing. He does that. He's now under the hood of like marketing on social media. The dude is just a wizard, man. He's a freaking wizard of everything. So I say all that to say, Willie is really good at everything he does. So even with the stuff that Willie thinks is not high level, it's really good. So I want to put that caveat in. So I was up front and I was listening. I could hear what he was playing. While I was on the phone, being a Mason, my process of being a Mason taught me well of how to do 2 to 3 things at one time. Like I can do this and listen to this person and look over here. So I'm kind of like good at multitasking at one time. So I'm on the phone, I'm listening, and I'm like, man, that sounds decent. That sounds pretty doggone good. Because I've been in the mixing. I mix done tape. I've been mixing other stuff. I mix all my stuff now. When you can't afford a professional, you just got to learn how to do it yourself. So I do that. I do all that stuff now. So I'm into mixing. I'm into mixing heavy, actually. I like learning about mixing. So and Willie has showed me a lot of stuff. So I'm listening like, man, that sounds decent, man. Then I'm listening and I hear who it is. I said, oh, okay. I'm just using this as an example. I'm going to get to a broader scope after a while. I'm using it as an example. Using this instance of what happened as an example. So I come back after I get off the phone. I come back to this room where Willie's mixing it. And I say, yo, bro, man, that sounds decent. Like, I'm pretty sure when you send that to the person, they're going to say, like, nah, this fine. I don't need you to do nothing else. And I love Willie, man. I love Willie. He's so, like, sometimes I can be a pessimist. I can see the glass as half empty rather than half full. I can be that person. Sometimes I can be that person. I know myself. But Willie is always a guy that sees it. The glass is half full. He sees it. He tries to look past that. He don't try to see the negative stuff and stuff. He's got a really different mindset, a positive mindset, but he has that. So he's seen it like that. He was like, when I said, he was like, you think so? No, I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. He understands what we trying to do. And I be doggone. He sent it to him, and it was exactly what I said. But it's only that because we don't strive to do stuff at a high level. We kind of do stuff at like, no, man, I'm fine with that. I like stuff. I like the realness, the rawness. It's like you can still have a realness and a rawness to a polished product. Everything that we put out from now on should be polished, at least. It should at least be polished. You should take the raw and polish the raw up. At least take the raw and make it, polish the realness up of it. So that's my thing with local. I hate saying local artists. Let's just say artists in general. Like, man, before we put something out, let's make sure it's actually polished. Like, when I look back at done tapes, I love it, the fact that, like, I love it because, hey, man, it was your first go at it. Like, you tried. But, like, you shouldn't have put that out, bro. Like, you should have gotten some more opinions and, like, fixed some stuff. Or, like, Awake My Soul, a single that I dropped, or it was a cover of a Mumford & Sons tune, or my cover to Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Like, it could be way better. Like, when I listen to where my music is now with my mixing skills, like, this this is the bare minimum that I would want people to hear from me now. To where I'm at with mixing now, this is the bare minimum. I would want people to hear this. So we have to find a way to put out actual polished work, because when God, like, man, it's certain gifts that God has gifted people that they're going to be seen regardless. They're going to be seen. They're going to be heard. They're going to have a massive impact. Let's not even say massive impact, but they're going to have an impact on the community that they're in and around. So however far that community spans, those people are going to have an impact on that. And it's like, bro, if you're going to have a huge impact on stuff, don't just half-ass stuff, bro. Don't half-ass, bro. Like, why would you do something and your videography is on 10 and you make your audio be on 6? At least get a happy medium and bring them both to 7. Like, you get what I'm saying? We have to figure out how to marry the two, like rawness and polished. Rawness and polished. Because everyone that we look up to in this industry, that's in the let's say entertainment industry, podcasting, music industry, videography, whatever, photography, whatever, man. The people that we look up to are doing it at a higher level. Now, do everybody have the same processes and stuff? No, they don't. But they all want to reach a end goal of stuff being the best that it can be. The best that it can be. And if it's not the best that it can be, we're wasting time. I've said this a lot recently, but I'll be 35 July 24th. I don't have time to put stuff out and it's not the best that it can be. Now, do I still feel like this is where I see both sides. Do I still feel like, man, once it's to a good place, put it out. Put it out. Don't sit on stuff. Stop sitting on stuff. Because, the real kicker of the matter is, it's tough because I literally, this is why I see both sides. You can only get stuff as good as your budget allows and what you have access to. I'll say that again. You can only get good stuff as good as your budget allows and what you have access to. I say it one more time. You can only get stuff as good as your budget allows and what you have access to. What do you mean by that, Raymond? What you say that to say? In this entertainment industry, man, podcasting, videography, photography, the cheaper you pay for stuff, the more likely it's not going to be as great quality. That's podcasting, music, photography, anything, any art, graphics, whatever, album artwork, whatever. The cheaper you pay, the more likely it's not going to be as of high quality. But also don't pay absorbently amounts of money. I mean, astronomical amounts of money, let's say that, for a product that's like subpar. So you have to do your vetting as well. But so your budget is always gonna put you in a good space. The bigger your budget is, unfortunately, the better the product is. So when you look at things that way, you have to navigate it in a better sense of like, man, let me find a way to tie in budget and the other side. Like, do I got access to great musicians at a good budget? Do I got access to a great producer at a good budget? Do I got access to great recording equipment at a good budget? Do I got access to great audio engineers for a good budget while getting good videographers and editors for a good budget for my podcast? Whatever. Everything has to be done in a good budget. Now, mind you, everybody's not making a lot of money, so it's tough to do. It's tough to find getting the great thing. Like, it's just where we recorded Raziano and Friends' first album, Studio in the Country in Bogalusa, Louisiana. Great studio. But you gotta have a budget to record there. It's like great studio. Stevie Wonder has recorded there, like Fleetwood Mac. All these great people, they have recorded at Studio in the Country. It's a great studio, but you need the budget. So, if you can't afford that, you go down to Monticello and you holler at Nick Smith. Dippin' Vibes Studio, you know. It's a smaller version of Studio in the Country. Or if you can't afford there, you come holler at Willie or Smash and Company, and we find a way to help you out. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to find ways to make stuff great. But within finding ways to make stuff great, we have to put our personal beliefs to the side, which is stuff like, well, I don't need all that. I don't need to do that. Why would I do that? What does that help? So let's give some examples. Nobody should ever record a song especially that you may have to overdub. What does overdub mean? What does overdub mean for the people who don't record music? That means you're going to go over something that's already recorded. You're going to go in and you're going to redo it. You're going to redo it. So you got 4 bars that's already recorded. You see what a red is? See what this red is? Say I got 4 bars right here that I just wanted to go in and re-record. Stop this, go to those 4 bars, and just re-record. And re-record it. That's overdubbing. So you can do that for any instrument or vocals, whatever. A lot of your favorite artists do this. Your favorite artists. I'm talking about from Usher, Chris Brown, Lil Uzi, any of these people, they overdub. So when I say you shouldn't record any music that's gonna possibly be overdubbed without a click. Okay, let's say you don't want to use the click. At least make a drum loop, a percussion loop that will be playing while you're recording, and it's gonna keep everybody on the same time. And everybody should have this in their monitor mix or their in-ears, whatever they're using. Everybody should have this percussion loop playing so we can all stay on the same beat, same tempo, whatever you like to say. But I like to say beat, but so we can all stay on there. So beats 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in 4 beats, you have all type of inner beats. So you can have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Or you can have 1 E, 2 E, 3 E. Or let's do this. You can have 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and. Or you can have triplets. One little triplet. Or you can have all type. You can have a bunch of stuff in between beats 1 and 4. You can have a bunch of stuff. You can have groupings of 5, groupings of 6, groupings of 7. You have all this stuff in between these beats. You can have 3/4. It's a bunch of stuff you can do with your music and with your playing and with your arranging skills or whatever, vocally or whatever, however you want stuff to sit. But it's best that we all on the same. So just in the scheme that we didn't get it perfect on the actual night of the recording, we can go back and do it. Well, let's say the drummer got off at one point, or the bass player was screwing up. And you know from that night, I don't want to call this bass player back. I'm going to call such and such. And they're going to overdub this. Or the producer is going to overdub the bass part or whatever. You have the access to grid this in your DAW. A DAW. Logic, Pro Tools, Studio One, GarageBand, Ableton, whatever DAW you're using. It's a multitude of them out here. But in your DAW, you can go in, you can grid it. You knew this percussion loop was at 80 BPMs. So you set the marker of the tempo in your DAW to 80 BPMs, and then you lock it in, and now everything is gridded, and it's on 1, 2, 3, 4. So any of the inner beats you can change, or if you need stuff to hit on beat 1, and if everything in the recording is hitting on beat 1, and it all needs to hit on beat 1, you can make it all hit on beat 1. So it isn't any phase issue. So you don't have something that's hitting on beat 1, and you got something that's hitting like a second, not even a millisecond after beat 1, and it's making everything go, oh shit. It's making a phase that's used to where it's all type of stuff going on. So much stuff. Back end. The back end work of when you hit, this is a side note in it. Man, I said this wasn't gonna be about 30 to 45 minutes. Hopefully I can get this wrapped up soon. The back end work of recording, of what we hear from our favorite artists, Parliament, Earth, Wind and Fire, Todd Delaney, Todd Galbraith, Kirk Franklin, Chris Brown, Usher, Lenny Kravitz, all these greats, man, these greats that we love. We love Alicia Keys, Jay-Z, all these people, Kanye, Snarky Puppy, Ghost Note, all these people that we love to hear, man. We love to hear. The back end work is the work. Because the front end is easy when you're the actual artist. Unless, writing songs sometimes can be lengthy for certain artists because they like to sit with their stuff. They like to take time with it. But for some people, that stuff happens fast. They can write, they can arrange, they can do stuff fast. But the back end work is where the actual work comes in when you didn't get good preparation. And by good preparation, I mean it wasn't good intel between the engineer, the audio engineer, and the producer or the MD or the artist. It wasn't enough going around, or you didn't get good takes from good, not good, takes is the word, but a good performance from the bass player didn't give you the best performance, or the guitar player didn't give you the best performance, or the drummer didn't give you the best performance. It's only so much you can do on the back end, which is what you see on the screen. It's only so much you can do on the back end to clean a bad performance up. Bad performance sometimes don't mean you play bad. I have an example from myself. I recorded a song for somebody. I didn't play the song bad. My tone was just jacked up. My tone was horrible. So instead of using my take or what I did, they got somebody else who had a better tone to record the song. And that's what I mean by performance. Your performance can go from playing the tone, the sound, feel. It doesn't mean that you play something necessarily wrong. It's just it doesn't fit in what we're doing. So on the back end, it's only so much you can do when you get bad performance. Or the singer they didn't give off the motion. They didn't sing bad notes. They just didn't give off the motion. Maybe they sung lazy. Maybe they weren't rhythmically on, or maybe they just weren't pitch on the right pitch. So on the back end, it takes a lot of work to fix some of that stuff, especially when we not all studio musicians. We don't all play records a lot. A lot of people don't play records. That's why I kind of said local at first, local artists, because worldwide, I'm sure it's a lot of cats who play a lot of records. But that stuff matters. It matters to get all this right on the front end. So, hey, man, we got this drum loop. We're not going to record to a click, but we got a drum loop. We got the BPM mapped out to each song. We're going to send this to the engineer, to the mix engineer or whatever. It would be great if you had a producer who could have all this done and edited and sent to the mix engineer. Because a lot of times if you're dealing with certain people, mix engineer is going to tell you, you're not paying me to edit your session. You're not paying me to go in and find BPMs and edit stuff and make stuff hit all on the one. No, you're just paying me to mix what you sent me. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mix what you sent me. And we're going to figure it out from there. So it's a lot of stuff that needs to happen on the front end to make the back end smoother. And I'm sure I'm missing some stuff giving it to y'all. But that's what we need to think about as artists instead of just saying, man, I just want the rawness. Even in podcasting, I just want the rawness. I want my podcast to feel raw. I want it to feel like we just in here smoking and vibing. Hey, that's cool, but it ain't cool. Because the people that you see do this they understand the parameters of everything. They already do television and stuff. They know how to maneuver in all these situations. So they know wording, they know vocabulary that needs to be said. They know how vernacular that needs to be said amongst each other to make stuff happen. So we need to get out of the mindset of rawness. And let's get in the mindset of polishedness. If polishedness is even a word, which I highly doubt is a word, we need to get outside of the mindset of rawness and get into polishedness. Because in that polishedness, you still can have realness, where this is real. This is authentic, but it's polished. It's at least polished. Another example I use for myself. I was supposed to put out a song on May 20th. The song was basically mixed. It was about 80% done. I just looked more editing I could have done to make sure everything hit in certain spots. A little editing stuff. But my hard drive crashed. I have a rough version. I have that 80% version of that mix done. Have it bounced down. I got it in my phone. I done played it on the podcast a few times. Got it. Got it in my phone. I got it. I could have took that rough version, edited that mastered that 80% version and put that 80% version out. But that's not polished. It's not polished. I'd rather just not do anything, hold off until I can figure out the next plan and put it together. You know what I'm saying? So that's my get it off my chest moment for this week. We have to get out of the mindset of rawness and switch that to polishedness. I'm sure polishedness is not a word, but I like it. Because that rawness is only going to get you so far. Because you're going to get the people who putting money behind you, putting a lot of money behind you, and they want to see an investment from behind what they're giving you, and they're not going to go for rawness. They want what's going to get them their return. Because like I said at the beginning of this, there are people that have a calling and a gift, man, that God gifted them, and they're going to always reach people. Always. And they are gifted. They are great. They are great at what they do. It's some people who have gotten into podcasts. They are great at what they do. It's some people who've gotten into music and like photography, whatever, videography. They're just in the entertainment industry in general. They are great at what they do. They are gifted. They are called to do what they are doing. But rawness over polishedness will never work. It's only going to get you so far. Churches, I like my church to real. I want my church to feel real. Well, your real church is only going to get so far, and it's only going to impact a certain amount of people. But if you want your church to go far and impact a lot of people, go for polishedness. And in that polishedness, you can have realness. Take the rawness away. Have realness in your polishedness. That's my get it off my chest moment for the day. I do want to shout out Bad Boys 4. When it's seen that, I think Bad Boys 4 is right under Bad Boys 2. It's a great movie, great storyline. I just pray that they don't do another Bad Boys because this was such a great way to end it. Don't mess up the ending. Don't turn this into Fast and the Furious where they just keep making movies and keep making movies. No. End it with 4. Don't do no spinoffs. Don't do no sequels. This thing is ended. It's done. It's a wrap. Don't do no more. No more Bad Boys. Bad Boys 4 was so great. Don't kill the series by doing another. Bad Boys 4 was amazing. I suggest anybody go see it. I'm sure most people have seen it because the first opening week they made like $100 million in the open weekend, and it's now been reported that the franchise is $1 billion franchise. So probably ain't that many people who haven't seen it, but those of you who haven't seen it, go watch it. I don't want to give many spoilers, but the alligator, or was he an alligator? Yeah, alligator at the end. That was a funny thing. Martin trying to pray that doggone alligator was funny. Reggie is the star of the movie. If you know who Reggie is, if you watch Bad Boy 2, you know who Reggie is. Reggie ain't going. And it's crazy how they were able to keep him from Bad Boys 2. That's wild. But Reggie is the star of the movie. Go watch Bad Boys 4. Any of my House of the Dragon fans, after this week's episode, I may start doing a weekly review, or I may do a little segment, not a segment. It'll be outside of the podcast, and it'll be strictly for House of the Dragon. The only thing we'll talk about is House of the Dragon. Hit me up if you want to talk about House of the Dragon. I'm with it. I'm a huge dragon throne. I'm just a throny. I'm a throny. Anything to do with the thronies that come on TV, I will watch. Anything that come on about the thrones. Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. If they ever decide to do the Jon Snow sequel, I know they said they couldn't come up with a good storyline, so they weren't going to do that. Yeah. What else they wanted to do was a show about Arya because she went, and where she went, I think she went to Pentamos, whatever it's called. But they wanted to do a show about her. They wanted to do a show about anything in the universe of the Thrones. Have I read the books? No. But I love any TV show about the throne. So I'm just a throny. So if you're a throny like I'm a throny and you want to talk House of the Dragons, hit me up. Let's do it. We can sit down. and we can have a formal talk about it on the pod, real deep detail. But I'm probably gonna do a recap of episode 1 separately, just to start it off. I should have did it last season, but I don't even think I had the podcast in existence. I didn't have access to the stuff that I have access to now to even do it at the level that I want. Again, do it at the level that it needs to be done. Polishedness, not rawness, polishedness. But yeah, man. So that's been another episode of Scatterbrain and Ray Bradford podcast. I hope y'all enjoy yourself this week. Again, salute all the fathers, all my dudes, man. All my dudes, shout out to y'all. Shout out to my niece who makes me Uncle Daddy. That's what she called me every now and then, Uncle Daddy. She just hit me up before I started recording and told me Happy Uncle's Day. Shout out to my niece, Samari Darian Magic. I love you, girl. Love you more than you'll ever know in your life. You know, crazy thing is, man, when I lost my parents, I didn't have much video or audio of them to ever hear. So I'm glad I'm recording this now. So if one day I die, she can go back and listen to this. Again, I say, girl, Samari Dayan Magic, I love you more than you'll ever know in your life. I love you since the first time I seen you. I may even drop the picture in here. First time I seen you and I held you and you were a little naked fat girl. You had on a pamper. That's it. In the hot El Paso, Texas weather. I've loved you ever since then. You have been annoying some days, a lot of days, matter of fact. But I love you more than you'll ever understand in your life. I love Tip. Thank you for having her. Thank you for not pulling the plug and aborting her. Oh, that's mean. But Tip, I love you. Too tall. You know who I'm talking to. Yeah, man. Peace out. Like I always say, y'all find y'all grandmama, your granddaddy, your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your uncle, your niece, your auntie, your nephew, your cat, your dog, your boo, your bae, your lover, your son, your daughter. Find them, hug on them, tell them you love them. Peace out, y'all. Be safe.